Feeling like a crimson desert in here, bro.
Yes, it is.
It literally feels like a crimson desert in here right now.
Yeah, well, if you ever want to know what that feels like, just come to our garage.
No kidding. Welcome to Tom Cam TV's garage, everybody.
Thanks for joining us. Today we're going to be talking about Crimson Desert.
That was cool. It's feeling like a crimson desert in here, but we had to hop in here even though the heat is brutal and talk to you guys about what we want, what we are thinking about when it comes to this game, Crimson Desert. The release date finally came out.
Finally.
September 2nd.
Yes, this year.
Very excited.
Yes.
I remember seeing this gameplay reveal trailer at one of those game comms, whatever. I watch all the YouTube lives. I don't know all their names.
Yep.
I remember seeing this and I was like, that looks way too good to be true.
Yeah.
But it seems like they refined it, and from all the hands-on gameplay videos we've watched, it sounds like people who played the first demo came to this new one where a character was leveled up and the combat evolves during. So the big focus everybody's been talking about is the combat.
Yeah.
And the strings of moves you can put together and how it's not like a Souls-like, which kind of excites me. Like, I want I don't want everything to be a Souls-like game. I want new. I want fresh. I want innovative gameplay that makes me think. And this sounds like it's going to make us think.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The gameplay looks like it's a great mixture of a lot of the games that I like to play, and they're all different.
Especially.
So
you're big on combos.
I'm big on combos. I like Devil May Cry. I like fighting games and stuff like that. Old school, like original button mashers, like what God of War was in the beginning, and you know, those types of games, combined with Souls like Elden Ring, Bloodborne, those types of games, combined with, you know, a little bit of the fantasy element, the magic element, like
it looks like there's flintlock pistols, but then there's artillery strikes coming down from the sky. Like,
yeah, like what is this? Is it medieval? Is it magical? Is it modern? Like,
it seems to be mashing everything together and giving you an endless array of options of with which you can dispose your enemies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that excites me a lot. So, and then another component to the whole combat system as well. It seems like there are destructible environments. Everything seems interactive. One of the people we watched mentioned a grappling hook that seemed like it could stick to any wall or surface. And so the possibilities of which you could traverse the map, engage enemy, like, it seems like there's endless combinations.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like you can like triple jump in it, so you can, you know, there's air movement, there's, you know, the grappling hook. So I'm assuming that maybe eventually you can get a skill to where you can bring people up to you. So then it's kind of like Spider-Man, like Insomniac Spider-Man.
Yeah.
To where, you know, you're jumping up super high in the air, you're doing all these twists, you're doing like, you know, pressing circle and triangle for a combo, and then like coming on and just stringing everything together using all these different elements of all these different like gameplay mechanics. It looks like a fucking blast. And then you include like how big it is, like how big it looks, like the battle that they had, like that big siege
where there was like game test. Yeah,
that was crazy. Like, if that's really what you're looking for and like looking forward to playing as in the game, like that's just one moment in the game. I can't wait to see like the final moment, you know, like the big.
Right, because one of the reviewers mentioned that it was a third of the way through the story, this castle siege that we've been privy to.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, if that's 1/3 of the way through the story, what is like you said, the end fight look like? You know, like, what are we
building up to? Because like just the foundation looks fucking crazy. So if the end goal, if the finish line of this game, you know, is better and bigger than the beginning of the game, like I can't even begin to think of what that would be.
No, I have no idea.
And then, you know, there's skill trees and you can, you know, upgrade your character in different ways and you can get different abilities and stuff. So like, what do you get at the final? Like, what is your character like at the final, in the final game compared to the beginning game?
Yeah.
You know, like
Does the combat evolve even more, or
yeah,
they said it was late stage combat, so maybe not. Maybe that was like kind of the extent of it. I don't know. It just looks batshit crazy.
it does.
So you did a little research into the story of it all,
Yeah,
right?
a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, what'd you find out? Because honestly, I don't know anything about this game. What intrigued me was the trailer, where you see, he's on a horse and then he jumps off the horse and turns into this like form that's able to fly across the map or
Yeah.
something like that. Dude, it looks insane.
It does look insane. And the gameplay and all of the stuff revolving around what you're doing in the game, as I think is going to be a major selling point for me. The thing I'm the least excited about probably would be the story, because it seems to be like you're this guy who is in this world and it's a hostile world, and then you have to try to find allies. And then I feel like it's going to go like the Horizon Zero Dawn kind of way. So where it's like you're an outcast, but you build together like a group of followers, and then you have like this, you know, team of people or whatever that like follow you,
Sure.
and then you find out that you or your ancestor or somebody related to you is the cause of whatever issue or whatever. It's so I guess what I'm saying is like it seemed to be a very standard like cookie cutter kind of plot line.
I see.
But I'm definitely, it's very early on. Like I could, definitely be proven wrong. Like it's just, my interpretation by it.
Who do we play as? Like, who are we in this world? Do we get to make our own character, or
We play a guy named Cliff McDuff, which sounds fake.
what?
Cliff McDuff. It sounds fake. Like
Okay.
it sounds like a MacGuffin. That's what I think of as MacGuffin.
Oh yeah, Cliff McGuffin.
Yeah, so
Cliff
like
McGuffin.
you are the MacGuffin basically of this story, which makes me think of the Horizon and that kind of plot line, I guess.
Huh.
But Cliff, I guess, has a preset, but you can customize them. You can make them look whatever you want, I
okay.
guess. But you're basically this guy named Cliff who is like in charge of a group. I can't remember their name. They're like a group that they're like mercenaries or something. Like, they're out there in a hostile magic world. And the world is like after some major event, like some magic thing happened and like
some catastrophe.
yeah, was some major incident that happened, and all these magical artifacts and stuff are all scattered around, and everybody's utilizing them, and different factions are becoming stronger and stuff. So it looks like you're going to be trying to join all the different factions together to face a greater evil. So that's what I mean. That's what I kind of mean when it seems like a kind of cookie cutter-esque story that, we've seen that kind of story before.
Yeah.
But we've seen every type of story before. So it's really just the execution. And the gameplay looks fun as fuck. It looks fun enough to where I'm interested in,
that's what
where it goes.
Pulled me in immediately was the gameplay. It looked like from the trailer, it looked like you could do so many things, and I was like, "There's no fucking way."
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like Pearl Abyss has pulled it off. I've never heard of Pearl Abyss before.
I haven't either. Really,
not familiar.
After looking at them, they did a pretty popular MMO. That was pretty successful, and so people are surprised that this game is single player because of the company's history with online and multiplayer games. So they're thinking that they could, we could see some online element transform into this game later on, whether it be, in a PvP type of style, or maybe, other players can help out other players. I believe there's something like that in Death Stranding, to where like other players can help out other players.
Yes, there is. Like you can pick up packages, I think, or something like that. There's a lot of
build
things
roads or whatever. Yeah. So I think there could be some of those types of elements in this type of game. But I don't know. This is all speculation, so who knows what? Only time will tell. We only know for sure that it is a single player game.
So is it not an RPG? Like it seems like to be a pretty heavy role playing game, but I
Yeah, it
guess you're
is.
saying they probably incorporated more game elements than just traditional RPGs, like maybe base building, it sounds like, from gathering.
In a game like this, there definitely could be elements of base building or, some sort of camp. With your character being in charge of a major group, like it would make sense for, if there were elements to where you get help or backup or
Mm,
something like that, like it would
mm,
make sense for there to be an area to where they upgrade, or like that's where you go to do main upgrades, or that's your home base, or your home base is constantly moving, so it's
yeah.
like that's your camp, so like you can build upgrades to your camp. And that's also completely speculation too, because we haven't seen anything like that.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything like that. I don't know. I don't know if I could see the game having base building, maybe, but it seems like it could be just a straight. It seems like it's all about the combat, the fighting style, and the
Yeah.
traversal, and the interaction with the environment.
Yeah, that's true, because if that was a major part of the game, you'd think that they would have shown that by now, especially since it comes out later this year,
Yeah,
like in a
yeah,
couple months.
yeah. September 2nd, baby.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think that's them trying to. This game is going to be very heavily focused on combat
Yeah,
and environment interactions and stuff, being able to use the environment as makeshift weapons, like everything at your disposal on top of whatever you have in your arsenal,
mm.
you know.
You say the story is the thing that excites you the least about this game,
Yeah.
but it sounds like we haven't gotten much in the way of what the story's about.
Yeah.
So, well, it's interesting you say that because they're showcasing the combat so heavily that sometimes you wonder about a game like this. Like, are they showcasing the combat so heavily because you're correct? Because the story is weak and lacking. I wonder if because they introduced so much diversity to the combat and like there's so many enemies happening, if the story is just one linear path you have to follow, or will they surprise us, prove you wrong, and give us a bunch of branching narratives? Will they diversify the story as much as they seem to have given combinations to the combat? Will the story have an equal or appropriate number of different variables that could affect the way it ends or goes?
Okay. Yeah. So you're saying that there could be repercussions for your decisions, like it's not just a straight A to Z story. It's a
Yeah.
a can make you to C, or it can take you to F,
Yeah.
so like,
That's what I'm
okay,
that's
yeah,
what I
yeah,
think about whenever I think about all of the players talking about you can't showcase branching narratives really, it seems like, inside of a quick play test at PAX or wherever you
yeah,
might be.
that's a good point.
But I also wonder, would they have talked about it already? Have we just missed it, chat? Let us know. I don't know.
Yeah, are
you
there
know?
elements of this story that we're missing? Because it doesn't seem like, you said, it doesn't seem like there's a lot to bite off of right now.
Yeah.
And I think you're onto something, that if it does have branching storylines and branching, I think if there is different storylines, or that, one decision can change the ending or can change how that, progresses and stuff,
Yeah.
I think it would be difficult to showcase that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that would be something that I feel like would be a major selling point for the game too.
That's all. That's also why I bring that up, is because it's like, is it though, or is it just kind of like one and done? Because I compare something like this game to The Witcher 3, obviously.
Yeah.
It had an expansive story. I'm pretty sure it had multiple endings. My wife would know because she took over my playthrough and she played through it 3 times. So
Yeah.
yeah. But I compare it to like that, or even Elden Ring with the multiple endings Elden Ring has. I know it's not a Souls like, but the vibe of the world gives off some of the same energy. It's bound to be, there's bound to be some crossover, like, oh, that looks like something out of Elden Ring, or that looks
Yeah.
like something out of Crimson Desert.
I mean, that's
because it's all fantasy.
yeah.
Like,
I mean,
that's
for
how
this
my brain
game,
works. So
that's impossible not to do because I feel like there's so many different elements of different games that are
right,
incorporated into it, including Elden Ring. At first glance, it looks like a Soulsborne game, with the dodging and
yeah, that's what everybody seems to be saying too.
is it looks like it, but you got
Yeah,
to play it and it's not. And you can tell by the jumping and the combos that it's not
yeah,
because you can't do that shit in Elden Ring.
no,
You can't do that shit in really any game. Like, Spider-Man, there's a level of combos that you can do, and but those are button mashing kind of games. There are
yeah,
combos to that, but you are like, square, square, triangle,
yeah,
square, triangle at the same time. Mortal Kombat type combos. It's a really cool combination of gameplay plus, the fast paced action elements of it plus the magic parts where you could use spells and switch to different weapons that have different attributes.
different elements.
Yeah, so
Even glinting the blade to blind your enemies so you can
yeah,
rush them with a charge attack and then grab them and spin them around hilariously and then throw them.
dude, yeah.
Someone compared it to a fighting game's controls, and that made a lot of sense to me. That I think that makes it click is like this is open world like combat, but at a fast pace, like you said, Devil May Cry, which I didn't play a whole lot. Maybe it's kind of the same in the same vein of
A fighting game.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm excited to get my hands on it.
Yeah, I mean, in Devil May Cry, you have multiple weapons. So you got your guns and your swords and all that. And they do different things. So you're switching between them in your combos.
Yeah.
And so, that's what it looks like. So there's a major emphasis in this game on switching between different weapons and incorporating them into
Yeah.
those combos, which is very Devil May Cry and very
Mm.
fighting game-esque.
Yep, having to tap out in between players if it's that kind of game, or even switch between
Yep.
different styles.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
And then the dodging techniques of Elden Ring and Bloodborne, where you can do the dodging and the backwards, but it's
There
not just
seems
that.
like
But
so much. I mean, one of the people said there was a slide, there was a dash, there was a roll.
yeah,
I mean, just all of the different combinations seem obviously overwhelming, but like honestly really exciting to just sit down and have time with and figure out.
yeah,
I'm stoked.
me too. It looks like a lot of fucking fun.
It does. It looks like a lot of fun. I wonder if there will be like a moral compass in this game or anything like that, like Red Dead 2 did. It seems to be taking inspiration from so many games. I'm like, how much are they packing into this?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, that would be cool. Like if they took something from, Fable or Infamous, to where if you did bad things, your character would start to say and look evil, say evil things and look evil, or if you did good
it'd be
things,
very cool. I loved Fable for that.
yeah, dude.
I loved Fable for that. So, if they do something similar in this game, that'd be really interesting.
Yeah.
And if they're known for MMOs, I mean, I think they're used to building a lot of content.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely what it looks like is that there's going to be no shortage of content in this game. I mean, the fighting looks so much fun. So I mean, if they're leaning on the combat, then that's what I foresee a lot of mini game missions being and smaller side quests and everything. And there's going to be centered around like fighting the boss or infiltrating a camp or something like that. So like when you think of it's very Ghost of Tsushima vibes too. So like you think about how the map was in that game.
Yeah.
And it's kind of Ghost of Tsushima kind of had elements of other games too, like Assassin's Creed, because the maps and the stealth and everything were very similar. So the side missions being very repetitive, those were very similar too, but they were based on stealth to whereas with this game it would be very combat based, because they're leaning really heavy into that system.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how they do the open world aspect of it
Yeah, that's the thing. It's open world.
It's open world, so you know there's going to be a map, and you know there's going to be
side quests and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's going to be filled with stuff like that. So are they going to go with a big giant map like Ghost of Tsushima and fill it with, you know,
repetitive
5 different
quests.
types of quests that are all over the place?
I hope not.
Or can they go with a smaller map and each, you know, quest is pretty
Like
different from each other?
I feel like that's something Witcher 3 did really well.
Was divvy up the type of quest. Yeah. I mean, they were all kind of similar, right? Like you had to find somebody, talk to somebody, and
you're a
kill
witcher,
something.
so I mean, you're a contract monster
yeah,
killer, right? Is the flying in the game really intrigues me.
Yeah, that's
flying mounts, the flying where you transform and float. It looks insane.
It really does, dude. The flying really opens up a lot of opportunities too. So I mean, it's open world. So if you can fly, there's a flying element. Are there going to be like flying cities or flying, you know, bases or something?
Would be so cool.
There maybe could be like flying battles. You know, you're on a beast and you're, you know, trying to fight with magic or a bow or something on the back of a beast. You know,
that would be so insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, flying opens. It's like a different layer. It's like another airspace. You know, it's another level platform.
Yeah,
it's just like a basement. You know, it's like a dungeon.
That part in that reveal trailer excited me so much.
Yeah,
I was like, I knew I was gonna get this game.
Yeah.
So
I mean, really, and I say that the story excited me the least, and you know, but I'm still excited about it. You know, that's the thing. Is like, don't take it as that I'm not like excited for it at all. Like
the combat, though. Like,
I mean, the combat
that sells it already.
Yeah, it really does, and how big of a scope this is, and how really game changing this game could be for the whole industry if they pull it off.
Give us a true siege, like multiple enemy units acting and fighting.
That was so cool. Everything about it looks dope, and so I'm very excited for this game.
Yeah, likewise. Oh man, Crimson Desert out September 2nd. I hope that the story surpasses our expectations.
Me too.
Let's fucking go.
Pearl
Abyss, balls in your court.
Yep.
Can't wait until it's in our court on September 2nd.
Yep, me too. Yeah. And you know that we're going to be here covering it. We're going to be talking everything Crimson Desert that comes out.
We'll be streaming it. First thing, let's go. Very, very excited, man.
Yep, me too. What do you think of Crimson Desert? Are you excited? Let us know in the comments.
Are you fucking jacked for this game or what?
Let's fucking go.
Let's go. Hey, remember, it's not just TV.
It's Tom Cam TV. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And stay tuned for more videos on Crimson Desert and anything else gaming related, because we love video games and we love talking about them, and
we want to play some. Be sure to join us for some live streams coming to you every Friday night for sure. On the weekends and weeknights randomly. Just be on the lookout, subscribe, hit that bell to get notifications, and I'll let you know when we're live every night. YouTube, Twitch. Join us on Instagram and TikTok as well.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, fun stuff. All the links are in our bio.
Thanks for watching.
Bon voyage, everybody.
Bye.
Be good. Say la vie.